Balmoral, I don't know how you're saying it. It's a gorgeous community in Humble, Texas, and I'm gonna tell you all about it right now. Hi, my name is Aaron, and every week I'm helping buyers relocate to and throughout the greater city of Houston and the surrounding suburbs. So if you need to know anything about where to eat, sleep, live, play, hit me up morning, noon, or night. I'm your guy. All of my info is going to be in the bio below. It doesn't matter if you're a day, a week, a month, a year, 2 years out. I would love to be a resource for you on your transition to Houston and the surrounding suburbs. And so today we're going to be showcasing one of the prettiest communities in the Humble area. I've recently fallen deeper and deeper in love with the Humble area. And so today I want to showcase definitely one of the prettiest with one of the best amenities that you can ever find in the greater Houston area. And that is Balmoral, however you say it. I've been to different builders and they've said it different ways. So I just kind of throw it out there and hope that people know what I'm talking about, right? But we're gonna hop right into it right now. So it's located in the Humble Tascasita area, which is one of the closest suburbs that you have to the city of Houston. And you can see right here that it's about 20 miles away from downtown Houston. That's where the Balmoral community is. And I just think that is one of the best locations that you can be in. If you want to get outside of your community, you can head on over to Lake Houston, not too far from you over here. There's a bunch of golf courses over here. You have shopping. You're just in a really great location at Balmoral in Humble. But being in a great location doesn't mean anything if the product on site is trash and doesn't look good, right? So let's hop into who some of the builders are. Some of them are some super heavy hitters. You have from entry all the way up to custom home builders on site. And so let's hop into the builders right now. So hopping back over into the site, we can check out some of their home builders right now. We have some of my favorites over here. We got Ashton Woods, Chesmar, we have Kehoe Mananian. I've had some clients do some great history makers. Your Hamilton Thomas is much more of a custom home builder. Lennar, Long Lake, WB Homes, and Weston Homes. Weston Homes is another one of those premier builders that we have here. Typically they build on much larger sites, so your 55+ foot sites, and so you're going to get the grand spiral staircases and all those other homes. Like some of the previous videos that I featured, they have some really grand, spectacular looking homes. And so these are some of the builders that you can expect out in Balmoral in Humble, Texas, and you're going to have a glorious experience, right? So depending on what your budget is, we can go entry level all the way up to custom home builder style, and I'll drop some B-roll of what some of the homes are looking like right now. But it is definitely a place where you're going to have a variety, and it's going to meet nearly any budget, whether you're just starting out or you want something that's super decked out and a little bit more custom. So we have great builders, we have a great location. Let's check out what the availability is currently on the MLS for what is available in Balmoral, Humble, Texas. And as of this recording, we got a little under 60 in actual Balmoral right now. Some of these are going to be resale, some of these are going to be brand new. This community opened up a few years ago, so it's not quite brand new, but it's within the last couple years. So you'll see some people that have bought and are now looking to cash in on some of this great market appreciation that they've definitely seen over there. I know my first clients over there would be so lucky for what they paid now versus what they're saying floor plan would be in today's market. But you're gonna see this, which is basically brand new homes, just a couple years old, and people are trying to move away. They've done all the upgrades, they've done all the updates and all these things, and now they're looking to move on to maybe something a little bit bigger, maybe relocate outside of the area, who knows. But this is what you're basically going to see. You're basically going to be getting brand new homes and homes that are still under construction to be completed right now in the area. And this is an example of a home that isn't quite yet completed and is under construction to be done by one of the home builders out on site. So when you're seeing these kind of photos, this is exactly an example of what you're gonna get. It may or may not look exactly like this house, but when you're looking at brand new construction right now, because most of the homes aren't actually posted online, what they typically do is take photos from a previous completed home and show you what that house could look like once it's done. And so this is just basically for layout purposes. It's like how I like to tell my clients about it. Now, if you want to find some opportunities that aren't on the MLS, you need to reach out to me so we can use my special tools to find exactly what is available out in Balmoral. But right now, this is just an example of what you could get for about $500,000 out there in Balmoral. And so when I'm thinking about this community, I am thinking about amenities. It is one of the prettiest places that I've ever been at. I think it's one of the first, if not the first, crystal blue lagoon resort style pool setting that the Texas region has ever seen. I know shortly thereafterwards there was one in LAGOON. Now there's one in Sunterra. So they've kind of been the pioneer of what this resort style beachfront pool amenity looks like in a community, and they've definitely set the standard, and it's one of the prettiest things that I've ever seen in person. And so hopping back on over to their Blue Lagoon site, as you can see, it is just gorgeous. You have a full-on resort style where you have pools, you have places where you can do water sports, you have you know, a little grotto area. You just have so much that you can do at this location. There's tons of green space. There's tons of people that are just going to be out there riding around on their golf carts. There are going to be people out there just running around all these nature trails and things that you have in the community. It's just really chef's kiss. I love it. I think it's one of the prettiest ones in the area, and I definitely think it's somewhere that I would consider relocating to when we leave the city and move out to the suburbs. In addition to the Blue Lagoon, you have a fitness center. You also have, you know, splash pads, you have sand volleyball, hammocks, and all that, all those kind of relaxation, vacation sort of things that you could ever want in a resort style living. You have all of that here at Balmoral in Humble, Texas. So because you are where you are, you also have great infrastructure. Because you're only 20 miles away from downtown Houston, you get to piggyback off of everything that downtown Houston would have to offer. So all of the museums, trails, parks, bayous, all the stuff that downtown Houston would have to offer, as well as the infrastructure of being in an established community like Humble, Atascocita. So you have your Dearborn Mall, you're gonna have all your chain restaurants, you're gonna have all the things that you would need, all the necessities, as well as some solid infrastructure for the kiddos out there to enjoy in Humble, Atascocita. And so who do I think this community is perfect for? I think it's perfect for people like myself that have a young family. We're thinking about making that move out to somewhere that has a safe, secure, some gated locations where we can have some fun, take some walks at night and feel comfortable, be close to, but not too far away from the actual city life, because there's some things that we actually like to do in and out of the city. We love going to the museums, we love going to the zoo, we love going out, and I like, you know, enjoying the bayou that is in the center of the city. So there's definitely a plus to people that want to be kind of close to the city, but also far enough away so you don't get the riffraff and the drama of being in a city that has a lot of, you know, kind of like dangerous stuff that happens in it, right? Also, you get to be so kind of tucked off and be in the country that you get the access to an amenity like Lake Houston, where you could fish and boat and do all those water sports and things that you like to do out there, as well as all the golf courses that you could have out there. So it's sounding more and more like it was made completely for someone like me and my family. But let me know what you think in the comments if you think that this would be a good fit for you. So if you buy a home in Balmoral, you're going to be tied to Humble ISD for the school system, and that is a great system overall to help your kiddos be on the right path from elementary school all the way up through high school. So not my words alone, let's check out what they have to say on niche.com. I'll drop a link in the description as well so you can check it out a little bit more in depth for yourself. So Humble Independent School District, Humble ISD, this is rated the #1 place to teach in Houston, in the Houston area. So that's a good sign for you as someone that wants to put their kid in that school system. If it's rated the #1 place to teach in the Houston area, that has to mean that the teachers are really loving what they're doing. They're being taken care of, which means in turn, your kiddo is going to be taken care of as they grow up through the school system, right? But looking at the overall niche grade, they have, you know, great diversity. That's always important to me. Solid teachers, clubs and activities, and great academics. So I don't think you can really go wrong by having your kiddo in the Humble ISD school system. But the elephant in the room, does Humble, Texas flood everywhere? Let's check out the flood maps and some of the tools that we have on our side to make sure that when it comes to moving to Balmoral, you feel as comfortable as possible about your decision buying in the area. So this community should be good, right? So in this area, as you can see, Lake Houston is not too far from you, and you have some creeks and some streams and things up north of you. But your Balmoral is basically this area in general, right? So because you are where you are, you're likely going to be placed in an X zone that doesn't require any flood insurance. And like I tell all of my clients all the time, it doesn't matter where you're buying, you need to have flood insurance, because you would much rather have it when you didn't need it, and then a Harvey or something bigger, badder, meaner comes along and causes so much damage and destruction to the area that you would have wished you had it, right? And so because you're in the X zone, flood insurance is going to be like, you know, $400 or $500 a year. But I think it's worth the peace of mind of just having that on deck and ready to go. But just looking at the greater Balmoral area, most of this is going to be in an X zone, right? So you shouldn't have too many issues with flooding on your side. Also, because this community was built mostly after 2017, after Harvey, the building codes changed based on the devastation that Harvey caused. So one of the biggest benefits to buying a house that is fairly brand new is that most of the elevations of the homes have to be at a certain point in order for them to be sold to the general public. So if Harvey came in and did something to a certain elevation, that house has to be outside of the range of the damage that Harvey caused. So when you're buying in a newer community like this, you should feel fairly safe that the houses are at an elevation that something that, you know, we've never seen anything like Harvey. The hopes is we don't see anything else like Harvey, but in the event that something as bad as Harvey comes along, your home should still be safe. But the overall floodplains for the area, you're in the X zone. You know, I think this stretch is kind of a little bit closer to this Madera Run Parkway. Up in here is the Groves community that I've also done a review on. And so y'all are kind of in a similar situation to them, in that you're going to be in the X zone as some of these kind of stretch over this Woodland Hills Drive. You may get a couple areas that are a little bit closer that may require some additional flood insurance, but for the most part of where you are, you should not need any flood insurance, and you shouldn't have an overall flood risk. Now, like many places in Humble, you know, as you get into some of these places that are a little bit closer to Lake Houston, I know many parts of Humble have an issue with street flooding, and some places that are not this one have even had some house flooding with just heavy rains. But you should not have that kind of issue in Balmoral in Humble, Texas. And last but not least, the last elephant in the room that we got to talk about are the taxes. The taxes on a brand new community. Anywhere basically outside of the Beltway, you're going to have high taxes, and Balmoral is no different. And if we hop back on over and check out that last house example, you'll see what I mean. So hopping back on over to this gorgeous custom home that's going to be built out, you can see that the price point right now is right around $520,000. But if we scroll all the way down here to the taxes, we can see that the estimated tax rate before exemption is nearly 6%. So with a house point entry for many of these communities right now of right around $400,000 and a tax rate of over 3%, you're going to have a tax bill of about $1,000 a month before homestead exemption. If you don't know what homestead exemption is, it's basically a credit that you get where you get some money back as a credit for that being your primary residence in the greater Houston area. So you'll get a little bit of a break, but going into it, you need to expect to pay nearly $1,000 a month unless you have some special exemption status. So how do you think I did? Do you think that Balmoral, and Humble, Atascocita, however you say it, is the place for you? If so, I would love to be a resource. I'm going to drop some more videos for Humble, Texas, Atascocita area if you're sold on the area but not necessarily Balmoral. If you're not sold on Humble and you want to check out something else, I'll drop some more videos from some other suburbs that I've recently toured and done some vlogs for. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have an amazing day.